Well, our breaking story tonight is about that 3.5-hour meeting held between the Prime Minister and top government ministers and senior Jammu and Kashmir leaders. At least 4 ex-Jammu and Kashmir chief ministers were there. Now remember, these are the same people that 2 years ago were called the Gupkar gang by the government, the Home Minister saying that the Gupkar gang who were bringing in foreign agents. Today, the same Home Minister sat across the table from them, posed for photographs, and both the Prime Minister and the Home Minister said that statehood as promised in Parliament will be restored, but important milestones before that are the delimitation exercise, taking part in that, and state elections. Words of caution, however, coming from 2 former ex-chief ministers, Omar Abdullah and Mehbooba Mufti. But the major point is that dialogue has begun 2 years after these same people were detained.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि जम्मू कश्मीर में लोकतांत्रिक प्रक्रिया से जुड़े अगले महत्वपूर्ण कदम यानी विधानसभा चुनाव की तरफ हमें मिलकर जाना है। इसके लिए डीलिमिटेशन की प्रक्रिया को तेजी से पूरा करना होगा ताकि हर क्षेत्र, हर वर्ग को पर्याप्त राजनीतिक प्रतिनिधित्व विधानसभा में प्राप्त हो सके।
Not UT cadre, not any other cadre. J&K must be restored its full statehood and must be restored its own independent cadre. And at the same time, almost all the speakers were unhappy with the move to single out Jammu and Kashmir for delimitation. There was no need. If the whole exercise of 5th August 2019 was to bring Jammu and Kashmir at par with the rest of the country, then by having a delimitation exercise independent of the rest of the country, you have set us apart from the rest of the country.
Constitutionally, democratically, peacefully struggle करेंगे, चाहे महीने लग जाए या साल लग जाए, हम जम्मू कश्मीर में 370 बहाल करेंगे, क्योंकि ये हमारी आइडेंटिटी की बात है। ये हमें पाकिस्तान से नहीं मिला था, ये हमारे मुल्क हिंदुस्तान ने, जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने, इसमें कोई कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं होगा। इसके अलावा हमने कहा कि आप चाइना के साथ बात कर रहे हैं, मैंने उनको कॉम्प्लीमेंट किया, आपने पाकिस्तान से बात की, इन्फिल्ट्रेशन कम हुई, बहुत अच्छी बात है। और जम्मू कश्मीर में जो सख्ती है, जो पकड़ दकड़ है, जो मारपीट का माहौल है, जिस तरह से अभी बात की नहीं होती है तो उसको UAPA लगाया जाता है।
Well, let's go across to Srinivasan Jain, who's been speaking to people who were at that meeting. So, Srinivasan, important tweets coming from the Home Minister, also Jitendra saying they're briefing what actually happened. So, some nuance differences there in what both sides are saying, but I guess the important thing is that this meeting is even happening 2 years on.
Absolutely, Sonia. I think that's the key thing here, that I don't think this was a meeting that was set out to manage to now solve all the many vexed issues of Jammu and Kashmir. But as you pointed out, the fact that these are the very same leaders who had been smeared as the Gupkar gang, many of them were arrested either in their homes or elsewhere, sometimes for months on end. In the case of Mehbooba Mufti, it was over a year. And then to call them for a meeting and then talk about elections, I think that's very important. Elections, I think, is crucial here because remember, Jammu and Kashmir has been now under President's rule for the better part of 3 years. On the question of the restoration of statehood, of course, as we saw there was a qualified statement reportedly by the Prime Minister, which Amit Shah has tweeted out as well, that there will be the restoration of statehood. That's something that the government had already committed to in Parliament. But I think there will have to be some more outreach and also some more explanation, Sonia, for exactly what has led to this U-turn, what has led to the government on one hand to first jail and in a sense deride these same leaders as responsible for the ills of Kashmir and then invite them for a meeting and say that we'll have elections and also restore statehood. Why was statehood then taken away in the first place?
Right.
So I think there's still a lot that remains to be unpacked. We will be talking to key leaders later on in our primetime shows as well. But for now, I think it's an important first step that after months, indeed years of an impasse, we've finally seen some movement, some political progress in Jammu and Kashmir.
Vasu, thanks so much for that analysis. And of course, we know that key ex-chief ministers will be coming soon on the program with their view. We've seen the government view and hopefully they'll join us as well. A drug used for urinary tract infection has been used as a fake Covishield injection, all by one fraudster. Monideepa has details. Monideepa, even a TMC MP fell prey to this fraud.
That's right. In fact, Mimi Chakraborty of the Trinamool Congress, she is the one who went to take a shot as a chief guest at this particular camp at Koshba on Tuesday. After that, when she didn't get her phone SMS, confirming that she had taken the jab, she got suspicious, asked questions and then raised an alarm, and this man was arrested. But the can of worms that is coming out now, what seemed like a bizarre lark is turning into something that could be life-threatening. Doctors are saying this particular substitute antibacterial could actually cause renal complications. Of course, investigations are on, police are looking, they have raided and found in this man's office, Covishield labels which he used to stick on stocks that they found of this particular antibacterial injection that has been given not at one camp at Koshba on Tuesday, but in a total 3 camps. Everybody
so
is now in a state of alarm.
Yes, it's actually extremely frightening.
Nobody is.
Yes, it's actually extremely frightening what's actually happened there. But thanks so much for that update. But let's go across to now, what's a major relief for the Twitter India chief who is based in Bengaluru. So there we have it. The Karnataka High Court grants interim protection to the Twitter managing director, Mr. Manish Maheshwari. The Karnataka High Court has ordered that there should be no coercive action against him on the 29th of June. Remember, he was meant to appear in an Uttar Pradesh police station today. The Karnataka High Court said you can question him through virtual mode, no physical appearance. Twitter India chief had argued today in court, his lawyer had argued that he was changed from a witness to accused in the case in 2 days. Now, what is this case? This involves videos which were tweeted of the assault on an elderly man in Ghaziabad. And Twitter notice was summoned to him saying, why did Twitter actually not take off this video? Mr. Maheshwari's lawyer argued that he's not responsible for day-to-day affairs and he is just a publisher. The Uttar Pradesh police say that his petition is not maintainable because Karnataka High Court has no jurisdiction. The High Court will now hear the case in detail on the 29th of June. Let's go across to the other big headline. Well, the world's most affordable phone is now coming from Jio and Google, announced Mukesh Ambani and Sundar Pichai today at the Reliance AGM. This will be out in September. There's no price yet for it, but Mukesh Ambani promised it will be the world's most affordable smartphone. Also, the Aramco chairman, the Saudi oil giant chairman, will now be a director on the Reliance board. However, stocks were down because there's no clarity yet on the actual deal.
It is my promise that JioPhone Next will be, by far, the most affordable smartphone, not just in India, but globally. JioPhone Next
This is the JioPhone built in collaboration with Google that Reliance will launch on the 10th of September. The price will be announced later. Pitched as the world's most affordable 4G smartphone, the JioPhone Next aims to board 300 million plus users who are currently on feature phones. The JioPhone Next with Google integrates features like language translation, read aloud features into the operating system so that the first-time users don't need to download them.
Built for India, and it will open up new possibilities for millions of new users who will experience the internet for the very first time. And we can't wait to show you the device later this year.
On the topic of 5G, Mukesh Ambani confirmed that Jio had developed 100% owned intellectual property in the field of 5G. The company has achieved over 1 Gbps download speeds in the testing phase and is ready to deploy 5G for innovative use cases like mobile healthcare.
So Jio is not just working to make India 2G mukt, but also 5G yukt.
However, the Reliance stock fell by 2.61%. Reliance Industries had made the stake sale announcement in the year 2019, but the $15 billion deal with Saudi oil giant Aramco was not finalized due to the pandemic. The fossil fuel giant has also announced a 75,000 crore investment over 3 years in solar cells and fuel cell manufacturing, with Mukesh Ambani acknowledging that emissions need to be cut. Being carbon neutral is not enough for the climate crisis. Rubina Mungia, NDTV.
Well, a quick look at some other news. S&P Global Ratings has cut India's growth forecast for the current fiscal to 9.5% from 11% earlier and warned of risk to the outlook from further waves of the COVID pandemic. The S&P forecast is the latest from a series from Moody's and the World Bank, which has cut India's forecast. World Bank had gone up, the RBI also had gone up, but let's see if those are updated. However, the RBI has said that the second wave hasn't hit India as badly as the first lockdown actually did in terms of an economic forecast. Well, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi today appeared in a Surat court in a defamation case, and he denied that he had made any defamatory comments referring to the Modi surname. Chief Judicial Magistrate in Dave directed him to record a statement in the lawsuit filed by a BJP MLA. Rahul Gandhi said, as a national leader, I usually raised issues of corruption, unemployment in the interest of the nation. He is accused, according to this BJP leader, that he had said Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Narendra Modi, how come they all have Modi as a common surname? Well, Andhra Pradesh has cancelled its Class 12 board exams, state board exams, in a decision taken just a short while ago. The Education Minister announces after the Supreme Court repeatedly questioned the Andhra Pradesh government today, asking why the state is holding physical exams when the CBSE and various other states had cancelled their Class 12 exams. They also said that if even one fatality takes place, 1 crore compensation will be charged. After that, Andhra Pradesh has cancelled Class 12 state exams. Well, moving now to what must be the pictures of the day, and these are really bizarre political pictures. In Bengal, the Ghar Vapsi of Trinamool workers continues, but now here you can see that they're actually being sanitized before they return. Trinamool workers say this is to rid them of the BJP virus, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Reports coming in as well of BJP workers having to shave their heads before returning to the Trinamool. So you can see there clearly them having to eat humble pie as they are back in the Trinamool after the BJP loss in West Bengal. During the height of the second wave of the COVID infections, SOS messages were being amplified through WhatsApp groups and messages, and so were offers of help, available resources and where these could be found. And that is why a number of municipal authorities, district administrations and even state governments used WhatsApp to disseminate much needed information to their citizens.
At the height of the second wave, this Haryana government integrated command centre was being fed data and was answering queries through the Gurugram district administration's COVID helpline on WhatsApp. This is what saved 68-year-old Himanshu's life.
The chat box gave me step-by-step details of how do I get registered and admitted in a government COVID center. I could get an ambulance to my residence which picked me up and took me to the COVID center in sector 67.
Developed by a group of citizen volunteers, a series of tie-ups including with WhatsApp saw the DC Gurugram helpline launch in early May. The chatbot integrates a number of services and a number of agencies, the Municipal Corporation of Gurugram, the District Administration, Health Services and Gurugram Police onto a single dashboard. Since the 5th of May, when the chatbot was launched, over 5,600 queries have been received for a variety of resources ranging from hospital beds to meals and medicines. With all the services being integrated onto a single helpline platform, the queries now also extend to oxygen booking and COVID funeral services.
This is a model which can be very easily be replicable to anybody who wants to use it, because many times when a pandemic comes, government themselves are hit in a very bad way, and this helped us not only integrate all the services together but also help citizens work along with the government and ensure that we could take care of all the people around us.
All in all, an important platform for citizens to engage with government at a time when it is most needed.